What's up guys, Welland Customs here, and today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends Juggernaut Build-A-Figure Wolverine. Looks pretty cool, nice new sculpt it looks like. We'll take a look at that soon. Nice artwork in the back, not artwork, nice picture in the back. Let's open them up. Alright guys, so here is Wolverine out of the box, and of course going to accessories first. He does come with a Build-A-Piece figure to make that awesome Juggernaut in the background right there. Looks pretty cool. Along with that, he does come with another pair of hands, which have no claws in it, which is pretty cool. But it's kind of ironic because the figure itself does come with hands and claws right here that you could take out anyway. So it's kind of interesting that we get hands with claws that you could take the claws out, and also get hands with no claws. Maybe it's just to make things easier, who knows, or maybe they don't know what else to give us for accessories, so they just threw in these non-hands. Either way, it's still pretty interesting and cool to have. If they could have thrown another accessory in there, I would have rather had a non-masked head. That would have been pretty cool, but we don't get that. So alright, so straight off the bat, I have to say this is probably my favorite Wolverine figure ever made. Toy Biz, Hasbro, this is probably my favorite figure ever for Wolverine, and that's saying a lot. But with saying that, there are also some things I don't like about it, and I will get to them right now first before all the things I do like about it, because we gotta talk about some stuff. So for one thing, let's go back to the claws. Alright, so taking a look at the claws of Wolverine, I have to admit it is pretty cool to have claws that you can take out of the hands. That's pretty nice. You can have some cool different poses with only one in the middle and stuff like that. However, I don't like these claws though. You know, they feel cheaper, the quality feels a little bit more flimsy, they don't go in that well. Taking a look at least one of them, really pinpointing the joint in there, you can see that right there. You know, they are like, I don't know, they look like little ball joints almost, like, if you really can see that right there. And the way they go into the hand, they feel like a ball joint, so they tend to move around a lot. You know, they don't really stay in place, which is kind of discouraging. Like, look at that one. I just put it down for 1 second and this is what I get. So you could definitely move them around, and half the time they actually bend in a certain way, or they might lean in a certain way, which is kind of discouraging. I don't like that at all. I was thinking about actually just like super gluing them in, keeping them straight, because we do have the other hands of no claws if you want to do that. But I'm gonna lose that ability to, you know, do some cool poses of just one in the middle and stuff like that, or two outside. So I was thinking about it, so I took out this figure, this Wolverine right here, and I took out his claws, and they're actually a lot better. So I put them on the other hand. They feel a little bit better in quality, a little bit more sturdier, and actually the pegs inside there are a lot different. They're actually bigger, so they don't move around at all really, they just stay in place. So if you do have this Wolverine, or maybe perhaps the other one that came out with about the mask, they might have better claws, so you could try that out, and that's something to think about. If I zoom out right now, and we're gonna switch them off, and you'll still be able to take them out of his hand, but they look a lot better in my opinion right there compared to this. And also going back to the color itself, you know, the color on these are like almost like a really light gray, almost a white color, compared to this color that's nice and, I'm not gonna say nice looking, but better looking, almost darker gray. You could probably give it a nice paint on it to make it shiny. So that's something to think about. Alright, just wrapping up this point right here, you can see the difference in size of the peg that goes into the hand. You know, it's not that big of a difference, but when you're putting something in that little tiny slot, it could be a huge difference really. And it's the difference between this moving around and this one staying in place, so you can see the difference right there. Alright, so the last thing to talk about that could be slightly negative about this figure is probably the yellow color scheme. I do love the fact that this figure is brown and yellow costume. I like that a lot. However, the yellows are just a little bit inconsistent. As you can see, the head, the midsection, and the legs. The legs and the head are a little bit similar, but the midsection is definitely different compared to the other two. And you know, yeah, that's just Hasbro for you. You know, they always kind of mess up the color schemes on their figures. So, like I said, it's not a deal breaker, but it's something that you definitely notice right off the bat. Alright, now let's talk about why I love this figure so much. A, it's gotta be the articulation, but B, and most importantly, is the sculpt and the size of this figure. Man, he is just huge. He is short. He is stocky. He is jacked looking, man. You take a look at his muscles. Take a look at how big his arms are. Huge, big biceps, big triceps. You go to his back. He has a huge back, broad back, huge traps right here. Now, this is exactly how I picture Wolverine, in my opinion. You know, he's short, stocky, and somebody you definitely don't want to mess with. You know, my favorite representations of Wolverine is probably from that short movie with Wolverine versus the Hulk. He's short and huge in that. Also in the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon, how he's represented in that, wearing the same color costume as well. And even in comic books, you know, he's short and stocky. This is exactly how I see Wolverine, in my opinion. Alright, now taking a quick look at the figure up close, I want to once more go over how awesome his arms are. Man, you guys know me. I appreciate some big arms right there. But look at those biceps, huge, nice ball right there, looks pretty good. But more importantly is the triceps. Look at that, huge triceps. You can see all the different parts right there, looks pretty good right there overall. You know, I know a lot of people like to work out, they only work out on their biceps, which is okay, but believe it or not, if you want big arms like this, the whole arm really takes up is the tricep, and the tricep takes about 3/4 of the whole arm, the side over here, the back, the corner. That's all triceps, man. You gotta do your skull crushers. It looks pretty good right there. Overall, it's got a nice flex. Looks pretty good right there. Alright, now going back to the rest of the body. His head sculpt is pretty good. I don't really have a problem with it. It looks pretty normal. Nothing too crazy right there. He has nice traps over here. Looks pretty good. His chest isn't that big, but I think it looks pretty good. Nice and muscular. Going down, he does have a nice red belt right there. No X symbol, which I like. Leave it nice and plain looking. And going down to the rest of the body, it's pretty similar and it's pretty simple from everything we've seen before from Wolverine. But it's just the overall size of this guy, you know, when you have him next to the rest of your figures, it looks very good. And like I said, he looks huge, he is buff, he is jacked, you don't want to mess with him at all. Alright, now going to articulation really quickly. He has a ball joint ahead, it goes all the way up, very good right there. Goes all the way down, really nice, look at that. And goes left and right, no problems there. He has hinge joint shoulders that rotate all the way around, so they go up and down, in and out, no problems there. He does have a bicep swivel, of course, 2 points at the elbow, and of course he has a hinge and a wrist joint swivel, so it's pretty standard. He also does have the butterfly joints. They go all the way out, very good. They go all the way in, very nicely right there, and they rotate very nicely and are pretty strong and sturdy. He does have an ab joint, ab crunch, forward that much, go back a little bit, which is pretty good too. He has a waist swivel, T-jointed hips, let's go back a little bit. They go pretty good, about 90 degrees, no problems there, no real complaints. They go back a little bit, not that much. He does have a nice split for his size. Thigh swivel, 2 points at the knee. He does have a boot swivel as well, and at the ankle he has a hinge, of course, and a pivot. So very standard articulation for a Marvel Legends figure. And, you know, when it comes to Wolverine, he does have pretty similar articulation in past figures, but what I like about this one the most is that it's all functional. It all works very well. At least my figure, you know, everything works really nicely. Everything's very sturdy, very firm movement. You don't feel like it's gonna break. I know in the past Wolverine has also had a ball joint, ab joint, and you know it might look good, but they're not very functional. It's nice to have a nice functional ab crunch for him right here, which is pretty nice. And also I love this, like I said before, I love the size of this figure and the scale and the sculpt, because you know he kind of has a longer upper torso, and that's pretty appropriate for, you know, a stocky guy to have a really long upper torso but short stocky legs. So like I said, overall, man, this figure is awesome. Alright, so quick size comparison with some of the other Wolverine bodies right here. So first off, we have the Hasbro one right here, which is not bad. A lot of people do like it, some people don't like it, but overall the body sculpt is pretty good. The articulation is pretty decent, but the height was just way too tall for my liking for Wolverine. I know there is a blue, yellow, and black version of the costume, obviously, but I never got that one. Right here we do have some Toy Biz versions. This is one of my favorite ones right here, the Weapon X one. I think they did a great job on this one. A little bit too skinny, but it's pretty decent overall. This one is from the X-Men series of Toy Biz, and I love how it looks. One of my favorite Wolverine figures ever. Articulation was okay. There's no ab joint really right there. It's on a ball joint, but it's pretty much non-existent. But nice arms, nice leg articulation. Definitely, I love the height on these two right here. This one, like I said, I love the base of it. I was actually working on a custom, before this was ever announced, and when this was announced I just stopped working on it because what's the point? This one is a lot better anyway, so this is just a nice comparison in size right here. Alright, so for our last size comparison, here he is with some of the other Marvel Legend figures, more updated, and of course the nice Hulk SH Figure Arts version right there. So I can't stress enough, I love the size of this guy. He is great, he fits in very well. Hasbro has been doing a great job, honestly, in my opinion, when it comes to these new sculpts, new sizes of all these characters. They did really good, coming down from the smaller Spider-Man sizes to the average sizes to the normal sizes, and they also have 2 more after that. So man, good job by Hasbro. Great job on this Wolverine figure. I know a lot of people would love to get this one. I honestly have to admit, if you see him, do not pass on him. Buy him. You will not be sorry. So, what's up guys? Video edit. Before I go, I just want to point out that if you have the Daken Wolverine, the Son of Wolverine action figure, you can actually switch the heads. And it isn't that bad, to be honest. So let's take a look at that really quickly. The yellow is a little bit off, but the browns actually match up pretty nicely. It's not bad at all. It fits in nicely, pretty good, and there you go. He does have a skinnier jawline. You want to take a look at that up close. But, like I said, it's not horrible. It doesn't look that bad. He definitely has a meaner face, in my opinion. A little bit more slimmer down, but pretty good. Like I said, you want to just repaint the yellow. If you can match that, you might have a decent looking head swap right there. Alright, so that's about it. I just want to point that out before I go. And like always guys, comment, criticize, subscribe, do whatever you want to pay attention. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram with wildlandcustoms.com. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Peace!
That's crispy.